The 2025 Thailand Grand Prix at the Buriram International Circuit was one of the standout events of the Motogp season, not just for the on-track action but also for the drama unfolding within KTM's garage, particularly surrounding their young star, Pedro Acosta. The 20-year-old Spaniard was visibly frustrated after an early crash dashed his hopes of a top 10 finish. In the post-race interviews, Acosta didn't just vent his emotions, he also offered a sharp technical analysis of the issues plaguing his 2025 spec KTM RC16, specifically tyre deflation and the phenomenon of rear-end unloading. This article takes a deep dive into the incident, the technical implications, KTM's overall performance at Buriram, and what this says about the Austrian manufacturer's struggles in modern MotoGP. Acosta arrived in Thailand with strong momentum, having established himself as one of the most promising young riders on the MotoGP grid. However, his ambitions unraveled on lap 4 when he lost control at turn 1, a tight corner that demands precision braking and optimal weight distribution. While following Aprilia's Motogp, Acosta described how the rear of his bike suddenly let go, causing a loss of traction that ultimately sent the front end washing out, leading to his crash. Though the incident may have seemed like a typical racing crash, Acosta was adamant that there was an underlying technical issue. Determined to salvage something from the weekend, he remounted and completed the race in 19th place, finishing just ahead of Aprilia test rider Lorenzo Savadori. His decision to carry on despite being out of contention for points highlighted his professionalism and commitment to gathering crucial data, a move often seen from young riders eager to aid their team's development. At the heart of Acosta's complaints was the performance of KTM's 2025 spec RC16, which he believes is more prone to rear-end unloading than its predecessor. In MotoGP, rear unloading refers to the loss of downward force on the back tyre during transitions, such as heavy braking into corners or aggressive acceleration on exit. When the rear tyre loses optimal contact with the asphalt, traction is compromised, which in turn affects front-end stability. Acosta explained that while trailing Bezzecchi, the rear of his bike began to slide. When it regained grip, the sudden shift in weight balance caused the front to lose traction, leading to his crash. This is a complex issue involving aerodynamics, suspension settings, and the characteristics of Michelin's MotoGP tyres. One of Acosta's key concerns was abnormal tyre degradation. Throughout the Buriram weekend, KTM riders struggled with excessive tyre wear, an issue that had already surfaced in pre-season testing at the same circuit. Tyre degradation is a common challenge in MotoGP, particularly at a high-temperature circuit like Buriram where rubber is put under extreme stress. However, Acosta hinted that the problem with the RC16 went beyond simple tyre wear. He suggested that the bike's design flaws exacerbated the unloading effect, making it more difficult to manage grip levels. Acosta mentioned that braking more gently could reduce the issue, but that's not a viable option in the cutthroat world of MotoGP, where every fraction of a second counts. Acosta's disappointment wasn't an isolated case. KTM's overall performance at the Thai Grand Prix painted a worrying picture. Out of the 4 KTM machines on the grid, 2 factory bikes and 2 Tech 3 satellite entries, the best result was a modest 8th place. Brad Binder, Acosta's teammate in the factory squad, all faced similar difficulties in maintaining consistent pace. This indicated that the issues with tyre life and handling weren't unique to Acosta, but rather a broader weakness in KTM's 2025 package. Buriram has historically been a tough circuit for KTM, given its layout which heavily rewards strong acceleration and stable braking, areas where the Austrian manufacturer has struggled to match Ducati and Yamaha. However, the fact that KTM failed to resolve these tyre-related issues between pre-season testing and the actual race weekend raises concerns about their development process. To fully understand the issues KTM faced at Buriram, one must look at the evolution of the RC16. Since their MotoGP debut in 2017, KTM have made significant strides in both speed and reliability thanks to their aggressive approach to technical innovation. Their steel trellis frame, a rarity on the grid, and powerful V4 engine have defined the RC16's identity. However, 2025 appears to mark a shift in philosophy, possibly in an attempt to emulate Ducati's aerodynamic superiority or Yamaha's cornering stability. One theory suggests that the 2025 RC16 has a different center of gravity or weight distribution, affecting how the rear tire responds under load. This could be a reaction to new aerodynamics regulations or an attempt to improve top speed, two areas where KTM have traditionally lagged behind Ducati. But if these changes weren't accompanied by the necessary suspension or chassis geometry adjustments, it could have made the bike more sensitive to rider input and tire behavior. Acosta himself remarked, "This year it's much easier to lose rear load," a statement that suggests a fundamental difference between the 2025 RC16 and previous iterations. This could stem from a stiffer suspension setup to accommodate aerodynamic tweaks or even changes in the electronic control unit settings governing power delivery to the rear wheel. Modern Motogp electronics play a crucial role in managing traction, but if the system isn't perfectly calibrated, riders can experience unpredictable grip loss, exactly what Acosta encountered at Turn 1. Despite his frustration, Acosta demonstrated remarkable maturity for a rider his age. His decision to complete the race and gather data underlined his commitment to the team's development process. In his post-race comments, he refrained from outright blaming KTM, instead emphasizing the need for collective understanding. This approach mirrors the mentality of past greats like Valentino Rossi and Marc Marquez in their formative years, a blend of competitive fire and technical awareness. Acosta also acknowledged that while braking more gently could mitigate rear unloading, it would compromise his aggressive riding style and cost valuable lap time. His understanding of these fine margins proves that he's not just a raw talent but also a thinking rider, capable of navigating the complexities of modern MotoGP. The Thailand Grand Prix is just one race in a long season, but this incident could be a turning point for both KTM and Acosta. For the team, it's a wake-up call to re-evaluate their approach and dig into the data Acosta collected. Whether the root cause lies in chassis design, aerodynamics or tire management, KTM must act quickly to ensure their bike is competitive at upcoming circuits, especially demanding tracks like Phillip Island and Sepang. For Acosta, this experience is both a mental test and a learning opportunity. As a young rider in his rookie MotoGP campaign, he will face more challenges like this. His ability to remain focused and contribute to technical improvements will be key in proving he's not just a short-term sensation, but a long-term asset for KTM. For now, the focus is on data, analysis, and relentless hard work, three pillars that will determine whether KTM can rejoin the front-runners, with Acosta leading the charge. Hey MotoGP fans, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest action.